Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Manish was. In today's video, I'm going to explain a very important changes in GST rates approved in the 56th meeting of the GST Council held at New Delhi on 3rd September 2025. So by the end of this video, you will clearly understand what changes are made in GST rates and how it affects and benefits a common man. So let's get started with this video. The 56th GST Council meeting has approved reforms to simplify taxes in GST rate, make essential goods cheaper for common man and support small traders, farmers, and industry. Now let's break it down in simple terms. GST Council approves reforms with a multi-sectoral and multi-thematic focus on improving the lives of all citizens and ensuring ease of doing business for all, including small traders and businessmen. The GST Council approves a rate rationalization with a focus on common man, labor-intensive industries, farmers, and agriculture, health key drivers of the economy. Current rationalization of the four-tier tax rate structure, which is having 5%, 12%, 18%, 28% GST rate, will now be simplified into simple tax rate structure with a standard rate of 18% and a merit rate of 5% and a special demerit rate of 5% has been introduced for a select few goods and services like sin goods and luxury goods will now attract 40% GST rates. An individual life insurance policy, whether term life, ULIP, or endowment policy and reinsurance policy, are now completely exempted from GST, and no GST is payable for individual life insurance policies. And now coming to individual health insurance policy, including family floater policy and policies for senior citizens, are also exempted from GST, and no GST is payable for health insurance policies. Reduction of GST from 18% to 12% to 5% on a host of common man items such as hair oil, toilet soap bars, shampoos, toothpaste, bicycle, tableware, kitchenware, and other household articles. UHT milk packaged and labeled paneer, all the Indian breads will see nil rates from 5%. And food items such as packaged namkins, bhujia, sauces, pasta, instant noodles, chocolates, coffee, preserved meat, cornflakes, butter, ghee, etc. will now attract 5% GST rates from 18% or 12% GST rates. Air conditioned machines, TV, 32 inches, dishwashing machines, small cars, motorcycle equal to or less than 350 cc will now attract 18% GST rate instead of 28% GST rates. Agriculture goods such as tractors, agriculture horticulture or forestry machinery for soil preparation or cultivation, harvesting or threshing machinery including straw or folder balers, grass or bay mowers, composting machines will now attract 5% GST rates instead of 12% GST rate. Labor intensive goods such as handicrafts, marble and travertine blocks, granite blocks, and intermediate leather goods will now attract 5% GST rate instead of 12% rate. And cement now will be attracting 18% GST rate from 28%. Life-saving drugs and medicines will now have nil GST rate from 12% GST rate. The life-saving drugs and medicines used for treatment of cancer, rare disease, and other severe chronic disease will now have nil GST rate from 5%. A reduction of GST on all other drugs and medicines from 12% to 5%. Various medical apparatus and devices used for medical, surgical, dental, or veterinary usage or for physical or chemical analysis will now attract 5% GST rate instead of 18%. A reduction of GST from 28% to 12% on small cars and motorcycle equal to or below or less than 350 cc will now attract 18% instead of 28%. Buses, trucks, and ambulance will also attract 18% GST rates. Uniform rate of 18% on all auto parts irrespective of their HS codes. Three-wheelers from 18% to 28% to 18% is the new GST rate for three-wheelers. Reduction of GST from 12% to 5% on renewable energy devices and parts for their manufacturers. Hotel accommodation services having less than or equal to 7,500 per unit per day or equivalent now will have 5% GST rate instead of 12%. physical well-being services used by common man, including services like gym, salons, barber, yoga centers, will now attract 5% GST rate instead of 18%. So all these GST rates will be effective from 22nd September 2025, and the GST rates for pan masala, gutka, cigarette, and unmanufactured tobacco, chewing tobacco like zerda, will now attract 40% GST rates. And so these were the highlights from the 56th GST Council meeting: rate rationalization, faster refunds, and a new tribunal framework. These reforms are being called a big steps towards a GST 2.0. So, what's your opinion? Will these changes actually make GST simplifier for business and consumers? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this explanation useful, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more such insightful updates. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.